Yeah. We didn't really want to cover this when we went over our pre-meeting on Sunday, but DJ Akademiks has been caught being weird and grooming essentially a 15-year-old streamer. It goes by Noir God or something like that. But news has been everywhere in the last few days. A video leaked of a private I think it was a Discord chat with him and a bunch of people, including Akademiks, and I believe another person that was in it was like Tory Lanez's manager or something.
And
damn Canadians.
And it was a 15-year-old, and there was just some weird stuff going on in relations to Akademiks. And let's watch this video here. That's kind of a splice of a piece of what FD Signifier has talked about in his video that he released about it. And then also a clip from Rap Latte that had the company man and Screwface Jean on it today, who actually, Screwface John was actually interviewing and or talking to Noir, who's a streamer, amidst all this stuff happening. So he's got some inside information.
But to summarize, in this Discord chat, they offered to send strippers to this boy's house. They asked him over and over again about having sex with women and girls, many of which would have been adult women. Akademiks asked him about having sex with someone's older sister and then asking him about having sex with an older man. At least one guy, who I will point out is not Akademiks, straight up says to this 15-year-old boy, if I can't you, I'm cutting you off. And Akademiks is egging this on, by the way. And it's my understanding that this guy in particular is Tory Lanez's manager, yet another connection to the Drake legion of henchmen. Even in this description, I cannot do justice to how gross this whole thing was, not just because of the things coming out of Akademiks and these other men's mouths, but also because it seems like multiple other grown men were present in this and didn't intervene.
Can you share a bit of your conversation with Noor? Yeah, I know. I'm not sure if you published that or not. I think you decided not to, but how'd that conversation go?
Crazy, too, because I did the interview, and honestly, that's another reason that heated me up, because he exposed a lot of the lies that people were trying to say before they start, like, there's a lot, because I interviewed him right as that tweet stuff went up. So he was telling me a lot of the stuff. He showed me some behind the scenes stuff of like where they were trying to cover stuff up because they knew it was about to look bad. And Noor was smart enough to document it all. He had it all documented. He had all, and I was just like, man, for a especially with the way that he was talking to them, I was like, for a 15-year-old, you handled this immaculately. So he showed me a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of lies that they were going to kick, that already kicked, a lot of lies that Akademiks ended up like saying before Akademiks said them, where it's like, oh yeah, they're going to try to spin it like it's, oh, we're friends, we're little bros. Like, no, I don't really know him like that. Like, that's what he was saying. And Akademiks like, no, this is my little brother and stuff like that. And he told me how he got into the live stream, because that was a question I had. Like, how did this even initially happen? And so, yeah, most of that information came out now.
So folks are explaining to me in the chat that Aiden Ross is banned from Twitch. And if you have somebody on your stream who is banned, then you get banned, because otherwise how can Twitch defend their bans? So he had Aiden on with a phone call, and that's why Twitch is, that's what Chad is telling me, that's why they're mad and banning Ak.
I mean, they got Al Capone on taxes.
Right, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're really telling me that up at Twitch headquarters, they saw that they ain't see the 15-year-old grooming tape. They ain't say, no, we cannot have that.
A lot of information there. I don't know if you guys had seen all of that, but I've been a lot of stuff.
When I see somebody get banned or deplatformed, okay, I want to know exactly what happened. It's just as much as so we don't make any of those same mistakes. But then when I'm hearing exactly what went down, I'm like, I like to believe people aren't this stupid, but I think sometimes when those lights turn on and that camera gets to rolling and you start seeing all the comments and the names going by, you get caught up in the hype. Yeah. I just know, like, even it's not that I'm on for my social media. I don't think I have anything that other than telling people where I'm going to be and what I'm doing, right? Or occasionally posting something cool that I saw, or maybe something that's a tad political in my stories. I don't have any real spicy content, but I do not follow or let any of even my under 18-year-old family members follow me on social media. That might be me being way too cautious, but I know the type of world that we live in. and the type of influence that even in a small way I might have on people whose brains aren't completely formed yet and aren't adults and can't make certain decisions for themselves. And for as entertained as I am with Boosie, I think the thing that was most disgusting that he talked about is having women, service his younger sons. And it's what part of the game is that? These are these are children. You shouldn't be co-signing anything that has to do with children. I know it's a different thing. We have this double standard, and honestly, life is made of double standards when it comes to young men, because you'll see those stories about some kids partying with a grown teacher. And, if it's young boys who are getting it popping with their grown teacher, you'll hear goofy things from grown men saying where were these teachers when I was growing up? But if it's a 15-year-old girl and, the gym teachers, contacting her on Instagram, he's automatically a creep, and that's how it should be. But we know that these double standards exist, and sometimes we can get caught up in the hype, especially when we start to talk about young men and their sexuality. I just think all of this is, we got to start having real conversations about how young men are victims as well. And I think that's part of. I think that's a large part of it that we just ignore. That we just think, oh yeah, I would have loved to got it popping when I was 15. You say that as a grown man, it's really foul for you to say. If this is really what was going on, like I said, I don't want to even dig too deep into it and have it too much a part of my algorithm. But if you're in there encouraging, a minor. I'm not even going to put a young man or young woman, don't just say it's a minor and you're encouraging, adults to perform any type of sexual act with a minor, even if you think it's in jest, you're definitely in the wrong. And, I'm sorry, that was enough for you to be deplatformed. So I'm just saying, let's have real conversations, whether it be men or I'm not even going to say men, let's boys or girls. When we're talking about minors, let's be honest about there's a lot of victimization going on. We can't just dismiss it or laugh it off when it's young men. Yeah, and it's it's kind of rooted, and I think I can't remember exactly because I didn't watch FD's full video, but I think he also referenced the patriarchy in a sense in his video. Terry, did you watch the video?
I watched it.
Did he reference that a little bit?
He kind of brought up the fact that we actually grow up in situations to where if you're actually with your bigger brothers, your cousins, things of that nature, coming up as a youngin', you're probably they're going to test you as far as where your head's at, things of that nature, which is a fact when it comes to being a young man coming up regardless. But in this particular situation, especially, he does not know this child. He's a child. Right. I want to shout out the kid too. I don't know his name, but he really handled himself well. You can tell that he's been brought up the correct way because he's literally telling them that
he's educating
them. This is not what you want to do, and this isn't a good idea, and they just kept going on. Thing with Ack, man, he is the quintessential "where my hug at" dude.
Where my hug at?
They ended up getting money, and this is the worst type of person because you are a corny dude when it comes to that. You want to get your hug or whatnot, and for you and the dude to pretty much play tennis with this young man as far as telling him what you need to do and propositioning him and trying to set him up, saying we looking out for you. You know what I'm saying? Bigging him up that way. That's foul. If anything, since he's a streamer and you're a streamer, excuse me, you should have been put in a position to drop gems for him, tell him
he
things
don't have
that
any, though.
But he
really don't have any.
He's been in it though. He's been in it, and he's successful at it again. So he has something to say as far as that's concerned.
But again, you're talking about what you referred to as the "where's my hug" guy. So this is to be expected in this type of behavior, and the type of behavior that he's always exuded in everything that he's kind of done. Maybe not to this extreme. Yeah, you know what I mean. At least publicly, allegedly. Right. But all things considered, this wasn't surprising to me, and that's another one of the reasons why I wasn't really interested in covering this at first, because I was like, oh, Akademiks is doing Akademiks things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I had it for him to even double back down on the situation when he addressed it, and he's not really apologizing for the situation.
No, he's not at all.
He's doubling down on it, and he went as far as to say, this is what really got me. He brought it back to the Drake and Kendrick thing.
So that was one of my points.
These are the not Drake, but these Kendrick are the Kendrick fans that are coming at me.
He said these Kendrick fans trying to make it weird.
Yeah. No, you made it weird. You're the one that did it. So that's why I don't understand why don't you take accountability for this stuff? And these jokes write themselves. You have been the poster boy for Drake, who you've yet to meet or whatever. You don't even know this dude for real. You just
crashing out for no reason.
You just pretty much do whatever he says goes, and he has this case going on, and you are following right in suit with the stuff that allegedly was spoken about in the Not Like Us song.
I've been trying to figure out how to compute those two things together in my head, but there's some sort of glue that's connecting the stuff that was said about
and then
Drake
they have Tory Lanez's manager too.
Exactly.
It's like, come on, man, y'all are all pretty much in this together. I'm sorry.
How did you walk into this one?
Yeah.
Bro, it's like Lone said. It's
like you saw a minefield and we're like, well, let me see what's going on there.
I can navigate.
It's like
this.
it's par for the course, really. With him, I wasn't to your point about your initial reaction. It's like, yeah, he's just being a cornball again.
I tried to react to it on Saturday. You were in the chat.
I remember,
and I was like, I don't want to watch this. I was like,
but money doesn't change you, man. It just makes you more who you already are. To his point, this is who he was before he became successful. The guy
allegedly.
Allegedly. Let me make sure I get that out there. But it's obvious, bro. And I think anything that comes along with it, you have to be more responsible as an adult. I don't care how successful you are as a streamer. I don't care about none of that. As a grown man, you have to use common sense and be more responsible about how you act around younger people. So, or just people in general, but especially younger people.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't understand either how they thought that was content. So, I mean, the kid
nothing about that was cool.
Playing a video game.
Exactly.
Was that live? Is that because I wasn't sure if they were all live or if that was just they were all in a private Discord chat.
I'm not sure. It might have been something like that.
To do with that Playboy Max guy too, or something.
I'm not sure if it was live at the moment. I don't know.
I don't think it was because I do remember hearing Screwface saying that Nora recorded everything.
Yeah, and that he was trying to bury it or trying to kind of spin the narrative on it.
So I don't think it was live. I think it was.
Plus, to Terry's point about his reaction is disgusting. It's just like you have arrogance when you respond to whatever everybody is saying and how everybody is responding to him. He almost doubled down and was arrogant about it.
No, he did double down.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. But he was arrogant about it while he did it. Like, to me, that just shows more of you just being a lame. Like, you double down, you choose to double down coming off that. Nah, that's lame, bro.
He likes Drake so much that he wants to be associated with the PDF file claims.
I've never seen I don't know if I've seen someone crash out like this and bring up LeBron and all this other stuff just for somebody that you haven't even met in real life. Like, how stupid is that? How stupid do you have to be? How bad do you want to be down to crash out for somebody that you've never met?
Yeah,
That's weird to me, bro.
But I don't think the thing is it's not intentional. This is just who he is, right?
Exactly.
So it's just he's just that dude.
He probably thought when he was in there, he thought he was joking around. He probably thought, and everybody in there that was in there thought that they were doing this guy a solid, joking with him in that type of manner. And it just so happened that the 15-year-old literally schooled them on how to behave around.
Handled it so well too.
Like he was like, he was like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are y'all doing?
I'm 15.
He even went as far as to say that he pretty much can't be canceled.
Yeah.
I'm like, he really feels that big about himself that he feels like he can say anything or do anything. And I mean, it's just a sad case of, again, if you think back to the cats at school that was a where my hug at type of dude, this is the exact same energy they were on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
well,
yeah, your demise is about to be bad, buddy.
Them chickens about to come home. I know that.
Once again, anybody who's a content creator out there, read the terms of service. All right. I know that's probably the smallest part of this.
Well, it's not even. Well, the thing is, Jay, is not even related to it because Twitch didn't ban him for that. Twitch banned him for randomly having a conversation with Aiden Ross about some other stuff.
I think then that's something.
Didn't he lose a couple more sponsorships?
Oh no, he lost like dad water.
Yeah, it was steak. I think that's the gambling.
That's wild
company.
if you lose steak because they don't care about anybody.
Yeah.
Like
speaks volumes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, once again, when you think about what his platform is, I mean, because regardless of how you feel about Akademiks, he has a platform. I mean, he kind of has a platform. I'm not sure what he's going to do now. I don't know, move to Rumble or one of these other upstarts.
Don't care.
Cake, maybe. I don't. Yeah.
But his following, if they really care that much, because also sometimes if you lose this situation with Twitch, everybody, especially his fan base of younger people, they're all on Twitch. If you ask them to make a couple more clicks to go somewhere else, that's too much work. And it's just like
Twitch is going to hurt him.
Unless it's a temporary ban, which we don't know.
Because he's had temporary bans before.
He did the same thing with Aiden Ross before, didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah.
At this point in time, like if you're still an Akademiks fan after all this, like it goes back to the FD video from the Drake thing where he said, you are a loser if you like Akademiks at this point. Like you are a loser. Like that's loser energy.
I agree 100%.
I mean, but
after all of this and including this, and you're still copping for this dude, like you are a loser.
But people are so impressed by the metrics of success that they'll be like, but look at what he's got this many followers. He has this many people. He's got
0 now.
Well, true. But like that's for a lot of people, that is how they can justify just horrible shit. Yeah. They can look at the metrics and say, look how many followers he has. Look how much money he's generating. He must be doing something right. This must be somebody who's worth my time and energy. And that's just not the way to live your life as an adult. But of course, me being almost 48 years old, I have a different mentality when it comes to these things. But if you're 19 and
red pilled
or whatever, and you have a mentality is like whoever's got a bunch of followers, whoever's got a bunch of money, that automatically makes them valuable. Now, I'm not going to act like, when I was young, I wasn't impressed by, people in the platinum plaques and whoever had the most money. I mean, that's why they publish, how much somebody's contract is going to be for, whether it's been in sports or, I remember it was a big deal when of all people, Janet Jackson got the biggest contract in the history of music. And then like Michael Jackson signed a bigger one like the next day. That's the competition in the family. But, so, I mean, I'm not going to act like it's just this generation's fault, but it's so much easier for them to get caught up. Because I think you talked about when you were, in front of talking to some kids and they asked you, like, they were like, well, how many followers? And
that's always a go-to question.
Yeah. Or how many views?
I had to win them over by showing them bringing down the band and new old heads and clips and content. Once they saw that, they're like, oh, okay.
Then they thought you were worth listening to.
Then I was legit. Yeah. Then I could go to the presentation.
Like I said, when I posted the picture of the, our 100,000 follower plaque, there were people who were like, congratulations. But then I realized how much it means to younger people. Yeah. Because it was like, my friends and family, their kids thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
100%.
That means the same thing as a platinum plaque to them. So here it is, like Akademiks. I don't know if he's on
Twitter,
or X or
probably
what is it, YouTube. Like, I don't know.
On YouTube.
I don't know. He might have 1 million followers. He might have the gold plaque, and so to them that means so much more than anything that he's done morally.
For sure.
Well, but you still can get the hell up out of here on some bullshit.
100%.
And we've seen that happen multiple times. Hell, who is the chick that had interviewed Drake at one point in time?
Oh yeah,
Bobby.
Yeah,
Bobby. She's pretty much. You haven't heard anything from her. I don't even know. Is she?
I don't know, man. Like
he said, she's really falling off.
He said that's so random.
The crazy thing is, I literally was scrolling on TikTok and it was Bobby leaving a Tyga stream. And she was at his house, and I guess they're dating. But she was married with kids when she started, so I don't know, man. Don't
get caught up in the hype. I don't care what it is you're doing. Just don't get so caught up in the hype you lose yourself. Yeah. And
he didn't lose himself.
He didn't lose himself because this is who he is.
He's just a weirdo in real life.
Look at him. I mean,
allegedly.
Look at him. Look at this guy, man. He didn't get chicks in high school.
Looking like Jerry.
Yeah. Who's Erica Badu?
That was hilarious.
Yeah, she got
She was like, you remind me of someone.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh.
You look very familiar.
I look very familiar?
Yeah.
Do you have YouTube?
The name Thomas keeps coming to me. Damn, you look familiar.
I do?
It's something nostalgic, like my childhood or something.
Oh, shit.
Listen, I got it.
You got it?
Yes.
Could it be divulged on
You're
camera?
not going to believe it. It's so simple.
Oh,
it's
wow.
really simple.
Joe, get
You
out.
remind me. You know who you look like? You look like The mouse from Tom and Jerry.
Hold up.
He didn't get no play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Right, took himself to the prom.